Hello everyone, and welcome to a video that will explain to you everything that you need to know when jumping into the world of Dustal for the first time. If you're looking for an explanation of something in particular, have a look in the description below and I'll have a few links to different portions of the video. Probably a good place to start would be a brief description of Dustal itself. Dustal takes the tactical focus and large ability variety of a MOBA and injects it into an open world PvP MMO. This creates a game where players focus on experimenting with skill builds and equipment, whilst also striving to dominate in both small and large scale PvP engagements. This open world is also filled with a variety of opportunities for players to compete with each other and strengthen their character. When you first enter the world of Dustal, you'll find yourself in a remote area of the game world which is designed to introduce you to various features. You will come across hostile NPCs and other potentially hostile players. You'll find randomly occurring events such as fallen meteors or pack animals that have succumbed to the harsh conditions. Capturing and looting these is one way you can gather resources, both early on and later in the game. With the resources you've gathered from random events and NPCs, you can take your first look at character progression. While characters do level up in Dustal, there is no direct relationship between character level and strength. Leveling up does however give you access to more options in strengthening your character through skill leveling and item crafting. The remote area you will first spawn into has both a dojo and a workshop, the two buildings needed to level skills and craft items. When you earn a level in Dustal, you will earn ability points. Ability points are added to abilities at the dojo to strengthen them in different ways. Depending on the ability, the improvement might be anything from the amount of damage or healing done to the cast range or length of time the ability lasts on the target. You will also have a capped amount of ability points, meaning that not every ability on your cast bar can be at maximum effectiveness. You may choose to level all of your abilities slightly or greatly increase one ability at the expense of others. Gaining character levels will also unlock more ability slots, which determines how many abilities you can have on your cast bar. You will start out with only a few, but will eventually have a total of 10. Characters in Dustal are also not restricted to only use the weapon and armor type they start out with. You can change these at any time at the dojo and be given low tier versions of the items. Your ability points will be reset and you can fill them into your new items' abilities. You do however share ability slots across items, meaning you cannot learn a large amount of abilities for all items early on. You will need to either specialize in certain items or be less powerful with each item but more versatile. It is important to note that in order to unlock new abilities, you will first need to find a pattern for that specific ability, then bring it to the dojo to train. To craft a new item, whether it be a weapon or armor set, you'll need to bring the required resources to a workshop. Higher level items work differently to abilities in that there is a trade-off when they are specialized. When crafting the item, you will have the choice to increase certain stats that will affect your character. These range from total health, energy, run speed, determination, cast speed and cooldowns, as well as your resistance to physical and magical damage. The trade-off is that if you boost any one of these stats, decreases will need to be made somewhere else. As an example, you might create a bow that drastically decreases the time it takes you to fire an arrow, but in turn makes you very low in hit points. Where you make the increases and decreases is up to you and how you want to play your character. Items and crafting are also not linked to character level in any way. This means that you can craft a high tier item early on if you have the resources. It also means that anything you loot can be used by simply retraining at the dojo. You will however be restricted to the abilities that you have personally learned from patterns for that item type. High level items require more resources and allow you to make far greater changes to your stats. In this way, crafting and items are aimed at offering more versatility in character progression rather than simple linear increases to damage or armor. As you further explore the world of Dustal, you will come across a number of points of interest. One of the largest is the neutral settlement, which aside from being a social hub also offers high level dojo and workshop buildings, which means high level skills and items can be worked on here. You will also find resource spawns, which work in a similar way to meteor sites and fallen pack animals, but remain in the same place for the server duration. They also have much greater rewards to loot when captured and can only be contested around once a day. One of your long-term goals might be to create a settlement of your own. One of the main advantages to private settlements is access to high-level and unique buildings. The highest level abilities and items are only possible with the dojo and workshop found in a private settlement. On top of that, you will have access to a large storage building for your items and a refinery. The refinery takes resources and increases their number over a period of time. It is a risky endeavor though, as other players have the option of contesting your refinery at the end of the timer and taking the resources for themselves. Player settlements also open up part of Dustal's late game PvP in the form of sieges. By crafting a siege offering and taking it to the siege tent located outside all player settlements, you can initiate a siege fight for that settlement. When the siege begins, the attackers and defenders will need to fight to control various points, both inside and outside the walls. In the later stages of the siege, the settlement walls will become vulnerable, allowing the attackers to flood in and fight for control points inside. If the attackers fail to control the points during any phase of the siege will end. But if the attackers prevail in all stages, they will become the new owners of the settlement. There are many different ways to succeed in a game like Dustal, which is why we don't proclaim winners simply as those who've killed the most people. We currently have 4 categories which measure the success of clans, each giving more points for different things. It is possible for a clan with only 5 members to come out of a Dustal server as victors in various categories, even if they didn't kill the most or loot the most or have the greatest stockpile of resources and armor. So that's a quick look at the core of Dustal and what you will encounter on your adventures. There are a few intricate aspects of each of these features that you will discover yourself, but I hope I've given you a good understanding and you feel ready to enter the valley. I look forward to seeing you all there, and thanks for watching.